When you grab an apple from the fruit bowl, have you ever really thought about how it got there? I mean, it's been on this insane journey, sometimes halfway across the world. And the whole time, there's this invisible system, a web of rules and technology working nonstop to keep it safe for you to eat. So today, let's pull back the curtain on that hidden world.
It's kind of a scary question, isn't it? But it's one we absolutely have to ask. Because the fresh food we all love is actually pretty vulnerable. And when something goes wrong, it's not just about a few people getting sick, it can shake an entire industry right down to its foundations.
So it all starts right here, out in the field. But for something like lettuce or spinach, the second it's picked, a clock starts ticking. And it's a battle on two different fronts. You've got the natural decay that turns something fresh into food waste, and then you have the much scarier threat, contamination.
Now look at this number, $201 million. That's how much money the bagged spinach industry lost after just one E. coli outbreak back in 2006. One outbreak. It made 199 people sick, and tragically 3 people died. It was a massive wake-up call that things had to change.
So, this is the big challenge we're talking about. It's this two-headed monster, natural spoilage on one side and dangerous contamination on the other. Let's tackle that first problem, the simple, relentless race against time. All right, so to fight back against all that spoilage and waste, the industry came up with a strategy. And it's one of those things that's so simple, it's actually kind of brilliant. It's really the golden rule for anyone handling food that has a shelf life. It's called FIFO, first expired, first out, and the logic is just beautifully simple, right? The stuff that's gonna expire the soonest gets used first. It's the frontline defense against throwing food away, and it makes sure that what actually reaches you is as fresh as it can possibly be.
So how does this actually work in a giant warehouse? It's basically a 4-step dance. First, every single thing gets a clear expiration date slapped on it. You can't manage what you can't measure. Second, that date goes into a computer system, creating a digital trail. Third, physically, the new stuff always gets put behind the old stuff. You probably do this in your own fridge without even thinking about it. And finally, you have people constantly monitoring and rotating to make sure the whole system runs like clockwork.
And the payoff? It's huge. Businesses save a ton of money by not throwing away expired products. And for us, it means the food we buy is fresher, it tastes better, and it's higher quality. It's a win-win. It keeps regulators happy, it keeps customers happy, and it's just a fantastic solution for that problem of time.
But that brings us to the other, much more dangerous problem, contamination. This isn't about freshness anymore. This is about safety. When an outbreak hits, it's not just about treating sick people. It's a frantic, high-stakes detective story to find the exact source before even more people get hurt.
Man, this quote says it all. The industry was on its knees. Just think about it for a second. They had no idea where the E. coli was coming from. So in a moment of sheer desperation, they had to tell the entire country to throw out all fresh spinach. It was a total catastrophe, and they knew, right then and there, that something fundamental had to change.
And what's really cool is you can literally see the dominoes fall on this timeline. That 2006 outbreak directly causes the industry to band together and create the Produce Traceability Initiative, or PTI. That creates momentum that helps push major new government laws through. And then, when a giant like Walmart steps in and says, hey, if you want to sell in our stores, you have to use these new labels, well, everybody listens.
The ultimate goal that came out of all this chaos was something called whole chain traceability. And this is basically the holy grail of food safety. It's the ability to follow one single case of strawberries from the exact field it was picked in onto every truck, through every warehouse, all the way to the shelf of your local grocery store. But to make a system like that work, everyone in that long, complicated chain, the grower, the packer, the shipper, the distributor, the store, they all need to be speaking the same language. They needed a universal translator.
And this is it. This is the solution. It's the PTI Harmonized Case Label. Now, I know it looks like just another barcode, but it is so much more than that. You can really think of it as a passport for every case of produce.
So let's break this down, because this is where the real magic happens. The GTN, that's just the product's name. It tells you these are Grand X organic strawberries. The pack date, well, that's for the FIFO freshness rule we just talked about. But the lot number? The lot number is the secret sauce. That's the product's birth certificate. It tells you the exact field it came from, the date it was harvested, maybe even the crew that packed it. And that big barcode at the bottom just bundles all that info together so any scanner anywhere in the world can read it instantly.
And to really get how big of a leap this is, just look at the difference. The old way, they just tracked pallets. But what happens when that pallet gets to a warehouse and gets split up, with cases going to 50 different stores? Poof, the trail goes cold. You lose all visibility. The new system tracks every single case. It's the difference between knowing a suspect is somewhere in the city versus knowing their exact street address.
So what does all this technology and all this data actually get us in the end? Well, it leads to one incredibly powerful capability. And that capability is the precision recall. Instead of that nightmare scenario of pulling every single bag of spinach off every shelf in the entire country, you can now identify and pull only the specific batch from the specific farm that's actually contaminated. Before this system existed, one contamination could wreck the reputation of an entire food, bankrupting farmers who did absolutely nothing wrong. The collateral damage was just immense. Now, because of that little label, investigators can pinpoint the problem right down to a single batch or even a single case.
And just look at the financial impact. A huge, commodity-wide recall can easily cost over $100 million. It's catastrophic. A modern precision recall is still expensive, don't get me wrong, around $10 million on average, but it is an order of magnitude less damaging. It literally saves industries from total collapse.
But it was never really just about the money. In 2011, a listeria outbreak in cantaloupes killed 33 people. 33! That's what's really at stake here. The speed and the accuracy of a precision recall doesn't just save money and save businesses, it saves lives. And this whole system is so powerful that it's no longer just a good idea or an industry best practice. The Food Safety Modernization Act, or FSMA, is making this kind of detailed tracking the law of the land. By 2026, it's going to be mandatory for all high-risk foods, turning this industry-led solution into a national standard for safety.
Okay, so after all of that, after this whole journey from the farm to the barcode to the law books, what does this invisible web of data really mean for you? For the food that's sitting on your plate?
Well, it means we have a fundamentally safer food supply. It means less food gets wasted. It means that when an outbreak does happen, the good guys can respond exponentially faster. And ultimately, it means you can have more confidence in the food you buy for yourself and your family. Because there's a hidden layer of technology, an invisible system working tirelessly behind the scenes to protect every single bite.